Gojo is unfortunately washed, and we're going to display that in this video by directly comparing him to the buffed Geto. Now, that's not the only reason why he's washed, it's just what place does he have with Blue Sukuna on a team that, with Domain Gojo, can completely destroy every single stage in tower up to 450 at the bare minimum, right? So Blue Gojo is a year old. It's fair that now he's kind of getting power crept, but to be fair, me saying that Gojo's washed does not mean he can't clear tower, right? Because tower, if we're being real, is just not hard enough for a lot of these newer units like Domain Gojo, right? Like Sukuna, all right? And even the buffed units too, right? So we got to put that into perspective, but I got one guide, and because of that, me getting one guide twice, I'm going to be starting a new series where I compare one unit to another. So this is going to be the first installment, being Gojo versus Geto, and then we're going to do one comparing all the non-enemies, all right? And let me know in the future what videos you want me to compare, right? Or what units, right? Do you want me to compare other Gojos, right? Do you want me to compare Nobaras? What exactly do you want me to do for comparisons, maybe between green units, Yuta versus Toji? Let me know down below, and if I like the idea, I will do it. So why exactly do I think that Gojo is washed slash also just not, first of all, doesn't have a place, and just now is the third best blue DPS instead of number one. He went from number one best DPS to Geto being buffed and then Sukuna coming out. Now, this is not a Sukuna video, this is me seeing who's number two, and we'll talk about why exactly Geto is just better, right? Why he is better. So Gojo, his main thing is a very simple kit, right? He just can't take damage, right? Leaves after 7 turns, does a big nuke with a 250% damage increase, and that's it, right? But Geto is way better for like a good amount of reasons. Well, number one, he doesn't leave battle, so that does help a lot. But the main thing is that he's able to debuff a shit ton while doing damage, right? So if we really look at it, the only thing you could really say is that you cannot stack, well, you can actually stack Pride, right? The best way to do it if you want to stack Pride is you use skill 1, you just spam the skill 1. Is there, yeah, it's only taijutsu. So you use the skill 1, right? It still gives a jujutsu boost, right? And then after the turn before you ult, you use the skill 2. It's going to give you a 50% damage increase. Then you use ult, right? If you want to have stack Pride, we could try it with Pride and without Pride to see how exactly that would work. But if we really look at it, Geto's ult was really shit before. Well, it was decent, but that's not his ult. This is his ult. So before it was like a 300% jujutsu with some damage increase, maybe up to 100, 200, we don't know. But Gojo's was already 1,000 with 250% damage increase. But now they made it so it's 760. But then they're like, why not just give him a 30% jujutsu built in? And then, oh, by the way, he gets up to 200% damage increase, right? So if we really look at it, let's just compare the numbers, right? Let me pull this out. So if we have 760, right, times 1.3, that means the base amount is 988, which if we check, almost rivals, it's 100 lower about. It's like, well, mainly like 70% lower. But then he's getting a 200% damage increase, which you might be like, oh, but Gikku, he gets 250. Sure. But then Geto's also going to get minimum. You could easily stack a 15% jujutsu alongside a 50% jujutsu, a 30, sorry, it's 15 and then 50 here, right? Or, yeah, sorry, my bad, it is 50. So when you add that in, right, times 1.5, I don't know if it's multiplicative or additive, we're just gonna, oh, whoa, 1.15, sorry. And then times, what is it? 1.5, right? Then times, would it be times 2? It would be technically times 3, but, you know, it starts to get crazy, right? So I'm not really too good with the numbers, but if you add everything together, like a 200% plus a 50% plus a 15% plus a 30% compared to just 250 outright, Geto just does more there. But what we have to consider is that Gojo has higher stats, okay? So Geto's is much lower. It's about 50 lower, but it's much easier to dupe Gojo up, which does give him a bit of that advantage, right? For sure. But then it's like, oh wait, Geto just could stay in the battle forever, right? So, you know, overall, it's kind of like, to me, it's a no-brainer that Geto's just better, right? Even if Gojo's damage is a bit higher, does it really matter when Geto's lowering the enemy's damage, increasing the team's damage, so being good for Sukuna, right? Where does Gojo fit in that team, right? Where does he fit, especially because he leaves? So we're going to test this out today using the exact same team, seeing which one does more. And if Geto does a bit less, well, we could account that for the fact that Gojo is dupe 2, right? So that is something to consider. Geto has a bit higher level, but still, if we check combat power, or we could check so the Jujutsu is, I'm pretty sure, 5,300, right? So he's got 5,300 Jujutsu, right? And then we could check Gojo, and Gojo is at 8,800, so it's a lot higher there, right? Same alt level, okay? So we have to keep that in mind. So we'll see how exactly this is gonna go, all right? Same exact team. We're going to use with win non-standard. We're going to do 2 runs each. We're going to compare. All right. So, quick note, you'll hear me say that we're going to use Pride or something like that, but I decided to opt against using Pride. I think it's just simple to keep it with non-standard, simpler for me, and it's less numbers for you guys to look at. So I'm only using non-standard in this video. I'm going to make sure that's also known in the comments. So we're going to do this with non-standard first and try with Pride. Basically, we just want to stay alive, and why non-standard works better is because you could actually get 2 stacks in of his 50% Jujutsu increase and Taijutsu lower. So we're doing this on floor 33, which is also going to make good use of his Taijutsu lower. And yeah, let's just hop into this. We'll try with Pride afterwards, which I think Bluejo, so Bluejo has a better use out of it in these types of teams, but with domain Gojo, Blue Geto can make good use out of Pride. Pride is stackable if you use Taijutsu attacks or buffs the whole way through, because you'll still have 2 times to use the Jujutsu increase, right? So that's something to realize. We're just going to start with this, and we could just use the skill 1. It's pretty chill for now. We're going to get a bunch of CE, right? A huge amount. That's fine. She should get the dodge, so that's perfect for her. We'll do this. Now, I don't know how far away we are from alt. That is one thing that I'm a bit unsure of. So we could just use that. It honestly does not matter. We could just start pumping these out, like, permanently. Because Kaido is giving so much CE. Like, Geto is going to be maxed every single turn. Okay, that's actually not bad. Okay. So we're going to do this. We're going to go for that. Alright, we're going to damage reduce on Kaido. I think Kaido's a little low. But look, so the debuffs for the Taijutsu last for 3 turns, I believe. Yes, they do. And we could see here that there is already a 35%, and we stack another. That means it's going to be essentially, if it's additive, a 70% lower of Taijutsu damage, right? Which is very good, right? Very, very good. It should lower his damage quite heavily. Like, that's pretty good, I'd say. Next turn we use the damage reduction and we're gonna be safe. We could start using these. I don't know if it's even gonna be worth, but we'll see. We're gonna put the damage reduction next turn, Taijutsu lower again, and we're gonna go back up to max, I believe, because Geto already gets 20 CE per turn. You do want to stay high CE with him. Gotta keep that in mind. Okay, so now we're gonna heal. Use this skill 2 damage reduction. Put this on, yeah, on Kaido because he has the lowest HP. Then use this. All right, so after this, we use Kaido's ult. Then it's GG, right? That's basically it. Okay. 0 damage. Just want to make sure that's clear. We did 0 damage. Okay, and that's because of Geto. Or he did 0 damage. Guys, we have to understand that's because of Geto, right? So that's why it's good. That's basically why I'm repping for Geto so much. So it's not like we have a crazy amount of shit. I'm pretty sure that's a Taijutsu damage increase. Just want to make sure. Yes. So we have a 40% Jujutsu increase, a 60% damage increase, a 40% Jujutsu increase, a 40% Jujutsu increase, another 60% damage increase, a 40% Jujutsu increase, a 120% Jujutsu increase, an 85% Jujutsu, 85, yep. And then also this is giving the 200% damage increase alongside the 30% Jujutsu increase next to a, how much is that? 717 alt. So just in case we kill, it's at least 5 million. But we're probably going to see the number anyway, so it's going to be chill. Let's go and see how much this does. I'm going to take it down on a notepad to make sure. Just got to keep that in mind. So Geto non-standard did 3.4 no crit. Okay, 3.4 million no crit. All right. This is without, like, a bunch of recollections, without Pride. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind for sure. And I feel like we could maybe start, like, just cooking with that skill 2 also. Like, it's going to do a lot of damage. He could basically do nothing against us now. So it's kind of funny. It really is funny. Because, like, what the fuck is he going to do? He has, like, he's literally going to be doing, like, 0 damage with a 70% Taijutsu lower. Like, it's kind of over for him, right? We'll go for that, then we'll go for that. So yeah, that's with non-standard. With Pride, I mean, it should be higher or maybe similar. I don't know. With Domain Gojo, obviously, Geto reaches higher. That's one thing with Geto is that he could obviously be used with Domain Gojo. But I'm here to directly compare the same thing. Quick note, I'm changing it up so we get our ult quicker. I'm not going to be using this recollection bit because I did not use it with Geto, but we're going to see if we could get it quicker than the confusion just to do this, and hopefully it does work. So we're going to time skip onto the nuke turn. All right, so we got it perfectly off. We're going to have every buff right now, and like I said, I'm not using this because I did not use it for Geto. So let's check it again. We have now the Gojo's buff, 113, Yaga's buff, Momo's buff, Gojo's buff, Yaga's buff, and then we have another Yuki buff coming in, another Yaga buff, another Momo buff, and then obviously non-standard with all that. So let's hope we do not crit, and then we'll see. So here we go. It should be probably around 4 million. It did not kill, so it's not over 5. I feel like 4 would make sense. 5.5, and we crit though. We crit. Okay, so it doesn't count. It really doesn't count. I'm gonna have to redo that, but 5.5 million with crit, and we'll try without crit now. So just to say, right, we're gonna redo it, but 5.5 with a crit would basically equate to 3.67 without crit, because the multiplier for a crit is in fact 1.5. So we could see that Gojo would have done 3.67, as when I multiply it by 1.5, it equals out to the 5.5. So without crit, it would be 3.67, but we're going to do that in game to confirm it. All right. I think that's fair. We'll give it to Geto. Why not? But in fact, Geto still does a bit less, but considering what else Geto does, I mean, it's pretty fair. We're back, and if we don't crit, it should be good. So I'm just going to scroll through it, but we have the exact same buffs as last time. Gojo's, Yaga's, Momo's, Yaga's, and then another Momo's here. No reason to really talk about it much. We just got to see. It should be around what I calculated, being around 3.7 million. Unless the crit numbers are just off, right? But that's what I saw from the wiki, that it's 1.5 times, so it should be 1.5 times. 4.2, okay, actually a much higher than I thought. So it was a bit off. That's actually good to know though. That is very good to know. So good, 4.2 million. All right, thank you. Thank you. Oh my God. It's good that I actually checked that out though. All right, so we have the numbers for non-standard, so let's check it out, right? Let's check it out. Now, this is what we have for the non-standard buffs, okay? So. Wrong one. Here it is. Geto non-standard did 3.5. Gojo non-standard without Momo buffs did 2.9. Gojo non-standard with crit did 5.5 million. Gojo non-standard without crit did 4.2. So these are the two stats we have to compare, right? So Gojo did how much more? And I should have had calculator open. Why'd I close it? So Gojo did, I think, like 700,000 more. 4.2 minus 3.48. He did 720,000 more damage, right? Now then, this is not really that good. Okay, you know why? Because Gojo is gonna leave, and Geto won't leave, and also supports by helping you not take damage, and also he's able to be used with Domain Gojo, right? So it brings a much bigger support than you think it would with what Gojo does. So definitely something to consider. 1000%. So now we're gonna do Geto with Domain Gojo. Same setup. Not gonna change any of the buffs besides bringing Domain Gojo, because guess what? It's one of the things that we have to count with buffed Geto, right? Because it's just fair to him, especially how I rank my tier lists. Here we go. We're gonna put Domain Gojo in here, right? Blue Gojo's here, right? I have to change that. So we're gonna put Geto. So this is the team we're going to be going with, all right? We got to get Domain Gojo's ult ASAP, right? And to do that, we just have to use the ult gauge rec bits that I have. Also got to consider, it's going to be very hard to damage this team after a couple turns because of all the damage lowers and taijutsu lowers, so that's going to be great. We got to get Domain Gojo's ult ASAP also so that the confusion doesn't apply, but after that, I mean, should be easy sailing from that point on. I don't think anyone else besides like Degumi is going to give as much of a damage increase as Domain Gojo is. So yeah, I mean, yeah, basically it. We're gonna save one turn with that, right? We're gonna use this, We're gonna go for the CE, and turn 1 we're gonna use that. We're gonna use the just skill 1 damage increase, but after that we're gonna go crazy. We gotta get crits though. We did get a crit. That's perfect. Love to see it. That's great. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, that's good. Be on Gojo. Nice, good. Because now from this turn onwards, we're kind of cooking, right? So we do this. We're gonna wait, and then now it's gonna be giving a pretty big taijutsu lower, and we're gonna see a nice damage increase. Please crit. No crit. Unfortunate. Okay, that's fine. Because we'll still get it in 2 turns unless we're very unlucky. It really is just that it would have been nice to get it this turn with Gojo. But it's fine, right? We're maxed out with Kaido essentially, so we're chilling there for sure. Oh, we're not getting those crits. We're not. Okay, if we get it next turn... Oh, man. Genuinely, I might have the worst crit luck ever. I'm just not getting the crits with Gojo, and it is quite unfortunate. But it is what it is, all things considered. So let's just go for this. Turn 1, we use skill 1, because our CE isn't exactly maxed out. But afterwards, we're going to be good. We just need to get crits like we just did, and we'll be chilling, man. But will we continue getting crits? To be seen. We're going to use crit rate increase, actually, to help Gojo out. I think that's going to be the better move, especially because we're a couple turns away anyway. So we could definitely use that first to help. Please, Gojo, just do it. Nice. Huge. Yeah, that's going to be way better. We're going to get it on time. Thankfully, we're going to be getting it on time. As long as Geto doesn't die. He shouldn't, though. No, he's not. He's not now. Because now... Well, not on him. I should have checked this guy. So, he has a 23% damage lower alongside 35% taijutsu lower. But we're about to put another 35% taijutsu and another amount of damage lower. So, he's going to do, like, 0 damage, I think. Is he? Let's see. I'm kind of interested. How much is he gonna do? Shit. He didn't do anything. Fuck. Okay. So now we have everything. Okay. Here we go. So Gojo's gonna put that 300% because he has 6 turns left, right? We just have 2 damage increases alongside non-standard, alongside Kaido. So it's not like a crazy amount of buffs, but it'll do the job. It'll do the job. So let's see how much he does. Even if it's with crit, we could compare to Gojo's crit anyway. But hopefully we don't crit. That's kind of the goal. Not that it really matters. I think we kill. If we don't, that's going to be a bit unfortunate, but we probably should kill. Let's see, though. We'll see. It's good that they comboed. I didn't want Geto to combo with anyone. It doesn't... Combo damage is kind of pointless to me. And here we go. We don't kill. We don't kill. So that's probably not a crit. Let's see. How much? 3.7, no crit. Okay. So it increased his damage a bit more. Geto with Domain Gojo did 3.7 million. Okay. So that is actually not a crazy increase. All things considered, it's not a crazy increase, right? But I mean, it's still good. We're still going to win, right? But definitely not as crazy as some people might want it to be. But then afterwards, obviously, Geto is going to be able to still do good damage while making sure that guy is doing no damage, right? Absolutely no damage. So it's great. It is great. Here we go. And, I mean, we're just going to finish it off, because why not? Literally doesn't hurt us. Bop, 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 and then bop. Perfect. So, yeah, Gojo actually, I must say, I thought it would be a bigger damage increase, but it was not, which is fine. Doesn't really matter too much anyway. It's still very good considering what Geto does. But, yeah, so we could get our closing remarks in now. So, while Gojo is a year old, he's still able to keep up with the damage, but we also have to consider, if I had one dupe in Geto, Geto would have done more damage than Gojo. All right, so here are the numbers that we have. So the numbers to look at is this. So Geto with non-standard did 3.5 million. Gojo with non-standard without crit also did 4.2 million, right? So he did about 720k more, like I said, right? Which seems like a big amount, but when you consider Gojo's dupe 2 and Geto was dupe 0, if you have even one dupe in Geto, this is going to shoot up, right? 25%. It would have essentially been a 25% increase. So 3.48 times 1.25 would have been 4.35 with one dupe, right? Sorry, 15. 15. I apologize for that. I used the wrong amount. It's 15 per dupe unless I'm actually tweaking. It is 15, right? I feel like I'm losing it. He got 25. Is it 25? I don't even know anymore. How much is it? It's 25. Okay, yeah, I was right. I was right. I don't know why I thought I was wrong. So with that, it would be 4.35 with one dupe, which would have been higher than Gojo. All right. But obviously, Gojo dupes are easier to get. But in general, we could see that Geto will do more damage than Gojo than usual. But Geto's also supporting the whole team, supporting Sukuna, supporting himself. and not leaving the battle, right? So Geto is really good, but has Gojo really is he unusable now? No. Is he washed? Yeah. Right? He went from number 1 to number 3 in like a month in terms of blue DPS. But he's still great. I just wanted to show that he's not the reigning god on JP. And Sukuna and Geto has basically filled in his shoes. And yeah, I decided not to do any pride showcases because I just didn't think it would show much of a difference. Like, it would probably help Blue Gojo a bit, but it's like, it would also like help Geto, right? So it's like pretty similar, all things considered. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think of this. What other videos do you want me to do like this? What other units do you want me to showcase like this? I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.